Hello, my name is Haley Mason, and this is my informative speech. Here to listen to me is my son Dakota, my friend Andy, my fiance Sam, my mom, and my friend Anthony is behind the camera. Hero. What does that mean to you? Do you think of a man in tights and a cape flying in the sky? A police officer, maybe? Most people do. As for me, I think of one person, my mother. My mom has been through more things than most people that I have ever met, and she still remains with her head held high. It is truly incredible. According to Google, a hero is defined as a person who is admired or idolized for courage, outstanding achievement, or noble qualities. This fits this woman in all areas. She has overcome obstacles larger than any mountain, and she is by far the strongest woman I've ever met. I would like to take some time today to walk you through her life and give you a glimpse of how I grew up with a hero. January 22nd, 1966, Cherie was born to Lynn and Donna Weaver at St. Francis Medical Center in Grand Island, Nebraska. On Christmas of 1971, she first witnessed her brother's assault on her cousin in her bedroom. In 1972, her brother touched her for the first time in the family basement. He threatened to kill the entire family if she told. This continued until she was 15 years old. In 1975, Cherie was told that she could not get pregnant. In 1977, she began to act out in school, fighting and smoking cigarettes. In 1981, she was raped by her first husband's cousin, and in that year also met her first husband. In February of 1982, her mother knew she was pregnant before she did. In April of 1982, when she told her first husband about the baby, he denied it, accused her of cheating, and slapped her while she was driving him home. On October of 1982, her first son, Dustin, was born. In 1983, she began her first job working for Rainbow Bakery to care for her son. In October of 1984, she married her first husband and moved in with him. They bounced from place to place, and he kept her locked in a house. He rigged her car and her house to know if she had left. He would check her body daily for smells. He raped her, and he would make threats to her daily. In 1985, she became pregnant with her second child after the birth control had become inactive. In 1986, her second son, Brandon, was born in Grand Island, Nebraska. In September of 1990, her first husband killed the family dog. In that same year, she saw an episode of Oprah where Oprah had said, "Get out of the abusive relationship or your kids will turn out just like him." So she decided it was time to leave. In November of 1990, she secretly saved money and left one night when he was sleeping. She got her own place and had a police officer there for only 15 minutes to get all of her stuff. In November of 1990 to May of 1991, her first husband stalked her. In May of 1991, she was out at a party for work, and after arriving home, she had a knock on her door. The man had pantyhose on his head and was carrying a knife. He forced his way in and attacked her. Her fingers were mangled, and she managed to slice his neck. She got up and ran to the neighbors for help, but the man got away. In July of 1991, she tried to work, but she could not hold on to the money, and she was afraid to be alone. In August of 1991, she had to quit her job at the bakery and began working for Principal Financial despite the struggle of typing. In May of 1992, she married her second husband, out of fear to be alone. After the attack, they were friends at the time, and when she woke up at the hospital, he was there, and he said, if I could get in here, anyone can." In August of 1992, her father passed away from a heart attack. In June of 1992, she began doing an in-home daycare to help with her hands. In January of 1993, her second husband told her boys that they weren't good enough to be his kids. He moved out every Friday to party and came back every Sunday to apologize. In August of 1993, her third child was born. In December of 1993, she kicked her second husband out for having an affair with her friend. Her mother raised her rent and she struggled to feed her children. One day, she found $20 on the ground, and that was how she got by. In 1996, she met her best friend at a divorce support group. She also met with a job coach to get a job that could support her family. During their meeting, she told him a list of things that she couldn't do. And after she was done, he said, "Now we know what you can't do, but what can you do?" And out of nowhere, my mother replied, "I can teach." At that moment, my mother found her calling. In 1997, she began attending college to be a teacher. On January of 1998, she met her third husband, Mike, and he helped her get a divorce from her second husband who was stalking her at the time. In July of 1998, Mike's second son, Corey, moved in with her. During their time of dating, Mike and my mother were holding hands one night, and Mike had a cut on his finger that he was unaware of. They both found rings of blood around both of their ring fingers, and they knew. On November 17th, 1998, they were married. He moved in, and they raised their children together. In May of 1999, she graduated Central Community College with an associate's in English literature. She began attending UNK to pursue a bachelor's in middle school education. In 1999, despite her older children's approval, the couple moved their family to Kearney, Nebraska. In 2000, Mike adopted both her older children. In 2002, she graduated from UNK and began working 4 jobs to support her family. They bought their first house, and Dustin got married. In May of 2005, a financial crisis hit, and they lost their house. They moved to Axtell with their youngest, and my mother began working as a para at Horizon Middle School. In 2006, they moved back to Kearney. In 2008, she became a grandmother to a boy, Xylis, and a girl, Gracie. Mike's youngest, Brian, also got married. In 2009, they moved to Pleasanton to flip a house for her friend. This same year, Mike's middle son, Corey, had gotten married. In 2010, she was offered her first teaching position at Horizon Middle School, and the amount of joy she had was contagious. That same year, Dakota was born. In 2011, they moved back to Kearney, and the youngest, yes me, totaled a vehicle. 2 weeks later, she totaled hers too. In October of 2011, Mike's son Corey committed suicide because of a misuse of a medication. In 2012, the youngest child moved out. In 2013, Zarian was born, which is her 4th grandchild. In 2014, Brandon, her middle child, was married, and Dalen, her 5th grandchild, was born. In 2016, her grandson Dakota moved in with them. In 2017, Dakota left for the summer, and he called to inform them that he was not going to be returning. They were going to argue this, but when she was about to fall asleep one night, a voice said, "Let him stay." She wasn't sure why, but she did just that. In October of 2008, I went too fast. In October of 2018, the world was turned upside down when my stepdad, Mike, was diagnosed with cancer. On January of 2019, we sat for a 6-hour-long surgery to remove cancer. When he woke up, he was in high spirits. In February of 2019, they found cancer in his bones, which was uncurable, and he was diagnosed terminal. On September 9th, 2019, Mike passed away. He was holding her hand at home, just days after a celebration of life. She was also told at work she would start a new job that she would later realize was nothing she wanted to do. In December of 2019, Mike's oldest got divorced. On March 20th, COVID happened. On July of 2020, Dakota moved in with her youngest child. In August of 2020, she bought her second house. On December of 2020, her brother, who had molested her when she was young, died from complications with cancer. My mother has shown me my whole life that giving up is not an option. And when the going gets tough, you must stand up and keep moving. She has picked up so many people as the weight of their lives crushed them into the dirt. My mother has been through a war eternally, and she is still moving mountains. I watched her stand tall in the storm, and I know that no matter what rain falls on her life, she will always be standing there, ready to hold an umbrella for yours. My mother has taught me many things, but the most important thing that she has taught me is not all heroes wear capes. Thank you for listening to my speech, and still here listening to me is my son Dakota, my friend Andy, my fiance Sam, my mom, and Anthony is still behind the camera. Thank you.